mixed tag team opportunity. Who are you and LA Knight fighting?
Oh, that's a really good question, actually. I've never been asked this.
Who is better for the company, Logan Paul or LA Knight?
For the company, LA Knight.
No chance. No chance.
So biased.
The gloves are up.
I see the LA Knight girl following me into pro wrestling.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to It's Real to Us, the wrestling show, but the podcasts are back. My name is Anthony DeMarc. Today, I am joined by a very special guest, LA Knight girl. Yeah. Bree, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Oh, fantastic.
Thanks for having me.
I know that you're a giant LA Knight fan, and we're going to talk all about LA Knight, but arguably the greatest heel turn in the history of professional wrestling just happened at the Elimination Chamber. So I want to get your opinions on John Cena turning heel.
I loved every single second of it. And it's crazy because I don't think anyone's going to believe me. I called it the night before on SmackDown. I was like, hear me out. I said, obviously, we know Cody Rhodes, he's not going to do it. I feel like everyone knew he was not going to sell his soul. But I was like, what if The Rock and John Cena, they have such a historic story in wrestling, like one of the most amazing rivalries of all time. What if they worked together and like John Cena turned heel? And everyone was like, no, like I don't see that happening. Like it'll probably be like Drew McIntyre. And I was like, all right, guys. And the next night it happened. And I was like, I told you so.
Oh, I was all in on Drew McIntyre. Actually, for what it's worth, I still think Drew could join John and The Rock. Maybe more people get involved. I doubt it's just John Cena, The Rock, and Travis Scott. But how funny was it that Travis Scott was there?
I was with a lot of people like, why is he there? But like, he is such a wrestling fan. I was like, you know what? Let him have his moment. Like, let him have fun with it.
I don't know if you saw, he actually went up and he sucker punched Cody Rhodes.
Yeah. I was like, hell of a hit, man.
So my emotion to seeing Cena turn heel was shock, and I had like 1,000-yard stare. Were you like, I was right, or were you more upset that he turned heel?
I was, number one, I was like, I was right. I told you so. And number two, I was so happy because a heel John Cena, I was like, yes. I was like, it's about time. But then I also had the question, and I still have it. What if it were CM Punk?
I feel like the story makes a little bit more sense with CM Punk, but I am all in on the heel John Cena.
Yeah. And then the press conference where he dropped the mic, I was like, whoa. He still had like the regular John Cena look. He had the hat, he had the shirt, like nothing. I really want to know if they're going to change what he is so known for, with like the entrance and everything.
So he's, I think, scheduled to come back the 17th. And I was talking about it with the rest of the It's Real to Us crew. We think he's got to have new music. He's got to have a new look. Goodbye, jorts. It's just a complete overhaul of a character. And I think that there's a Chris Van Vliet interview where he talked about going heel, and he had an entrance song ready to go. He had attire ready to go. So
yes, yeah.
So I'm sure that they have a lot of ideas, and I'm excited to see what happens, but I'm also very nervous because it's going to be so far from what I know as a John Cena wrestling fan.
And I'm so excited. I'm going to Mania, so I'm going to see that match. That for sure is what I am most excited for right now. It has been built so perfect. I'm so excited for it.
Oh, I'm so jealous you're going to be there. That is going to be incredible. Okay, so we got to heel John Cena. The farewell tour, the possibilities kind of open up, right? So we've never seen John Cena against arguably his best rival ever, Randy Orton, as a heel and Randy as a face. That's a possibility now.
That is that. I haven't even thought about that. I feel like I'm still trying to soak it in. Like I can't believe that he actually finally turned heel. But there are so many dream matches now.
Yeah, I've been trying to process everything for 3 days and it's still not working.
Yeah, no.
I don't know if you've ever seen the SpongeBob meme or clip where he gets not like hammered, but like almost like ice cream wasted the night before because he doesn't get made manager, and he walks into the Krusty Krabs and his eyes are just like dragging everywhere. That's been me for the last 3 days.
No, literally. It's like, did that actually happen?
It doesn't feel like it. It feels like a dream. Almost no, I mean, not a dream, a nightmare.
You have to get used to it. Do you not like change? Is that like your thing? Because I don't like change personally.
I don't dislike change, but I think it's the shocking change that has just got me. It's the fact that it's so sudden. You know what I mean?
However, I will say I'm angry, and this could sound horrible. They did not pan to any kids crying in the crowd. I was like, hello.
I don't know if this says more about me as a person, but I was like, we need a close up of a Make-A-Wish kid right away. I know that's horrible, but that was my immediate thought, and I have
I
to
was
share.
like between the Cody, like little babies in the crowd, and then like the John Cena, like fans that dress up as him. I'm like, where's the crowd reaction right now?
I'm just thinking about the Make-A-Wish kid in the front row, just immediately panning to him. It's probably not a good look. I get why
No.
they didn't do it. But my God, what a shot it would have been. Okay, nevertheless, Randy Orton, John Cena, maybe CM Punk, John Cena, the roles reversed, of course, legendary rivals. It was so great seeing them fight in the chamber. Now the idea of a heel Cena, face Punk, but you're LA Knight girl. Yeah. What about the idea of John Cena versus LA Knight? Because I know in a previous interview you talked about getting into wrestling and how John Cena is one of the biggest reasons why you became a fan. So who would you be rooting for and how would you be feeling? LA Knight versus John Cena on his farewell tour as a heel.
Oh, it'd be LA Knight. I've said this before. I'll say it again. LA Knight could go against the whole men and women's roster, and I would still go for LA Knight. I'm just that delusional. However, I would rather, as much as I would love to see that match, I would rather have a heel LA Knight back. I am a huge heel LA Knight girl. Like
Okay.
that. I feel like like, what if he like joins the faction?
He's the fourth guy just out of nowhere.
Yes.
He wins the US title from Shinsuke on Friday, joins The Rock and John Cena.
Mhm. What ifs are crazy.
The,
But, yeah, I would go for LA Knight if that match were to happen because we know John respects him.
mhm.
He, like, kinda, like, passed down the torch to him a little bit after the rivalry with The Miz, so I can see them working together.
I loved them working together. So it would be so interesting to see the dynamic between them, especially if Cena is a heel and LA Knight is a face.
Those promos would cook.
Oh, they would be
They
incredible.
would be amazing.
All right, so Cena, Knight, maybe they get together on the farewell tour. But for anybody who maybe doesn't know you from our platform, could you maybe just tell us how the LA Knight Girl character, if you will, came to light?
Legit overnight. Grateful for it though. So what happened was I have been a huge fan of him since 2016 when he was Eli Drake. So I followed his career from Eli Drake to LA Knight and then to Max Dupree to LA Knight. And I had never met him before. And so when I found out I was going to WrestleMania in Philly, they were having WWE World for the first time ever and they had added LA Knight super last minute. So I got my tickets, met him, sobbed my eyes out. He was so, so sweet. Then after photo ops, after I had met him for the first time, they have like a panel stage and it was hosted by Byron Saxton. And ironically, it was kind of like everything happens for a reason scenario because I had been by myself and there was one seat left open in the front row next to this very kind man who let me sit there and I was in like LA's direct line of vision and when him and Byron Saxton were talking, Byron had stopped for a minute because you can like hear me sobbing. Like I'm not like a quiet crier at all. So Byron Saxton had pointed out, he's like, there's this girl in the front row like crying her eyes out. And LA was like, I know, like she's making me cry on the inside. Like, should I go down and hug her? And the whole crowd starts chanting, they're like, hug her, she loves you, hug her. He jumps off the stage, he gives me a hug. That moment, one of my favorite moments of all time. I had posted it on TikTok and I think I had maybe like 4 videos prior. I had no intention of blowing up. TikTok was just for fun. I posted it, blew up out of nowhere. Thousands of views, thousands of comments. And someone had commented, I think it's the top one. It was like, she is now known as the LA Night Girl. And it stuck and people just ran with it.
And here we are. So that was last year, right around WrestleMania time.
I think the Monday after Mania. Yeah, last year.
So that was the day LA Knight Girl was born. How many times have you seen LA Knight since in a calendar year almost?
Like match wise or like met?
Let's both.
Oh my god. Well, just meeting him last year, I think I met him 6 times
Oh wow.
with events, probably 20, maybe a
Oh,
little
okay.
bit over. I think, yeah.
And you'll go to events just because LA Knight is there. I don't care about well, I mean, you're a wrestling fan, obviously.
Yeah, not so much Ellen. I mean, obviously, SmackDown's a priority. Like, if I have Raw and SmackDown coming near me, I'll get SmackDown.
Right.
But yeah, no, I've been to Raw before, and he hasn't been there. But it is nice when he gets added to the card when I buy tickets, because like you really don't know beforehand who's going to be there. So like when I buy them and they're like LA Knight's going to be there next week, I'm like, Okay.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
they always have in fine print cards subject to change.
Yes,
Oh,
yep. There is such a funny story with that. So, obviously, I was still a fan when he was a part of Max Dupree, Maximum Male Models. I went to an event in, I think, July of 2022, and I had brought, because I was barricade, a Maximum Male Model sign, and
oh,
I was supposed
nice.
to see him that
Hoorah.
night. I think it was, like, their summer collection or whatever, and then they had cut them, and I was like, "Well, there goes that." Like,
He was great as Dupree. I liked the whole Maximum Male Models gimmick.
yeah,
Mace and Mansoor, and that's how we got Maxine Dupree too.
mhm. Oh, I love her, she's so sweet. I met her Rumble Week, and she immediately knew who I was, and I was like,
Oh, no way.
yes, I had walked up to her and she was like, "Girl, I know you." She's like, "Tell
Ah,
my brother I say hey." I was like, "What?" I was like, "You know me?" I was like, What?"
that's so nice that to hear that she's sweet because she comes across like on camera as a very warm person. But let's get back to the topic of LA Knight. So you said you met him 6 times. I would imagine the time that stands out the most has to be getting called out in the crowd and him hugging you, right? Is there anything that eclipses that?
I don't know, Rumble Day when I met him, he called me out in front of the crowd this time.
Oh yeah.
That story was really funny. So, he had come out for his photo ops, and can I just say beforehand, this man had no idea I was gonna be there. I had posted a story, but he hadn't seen it that day. So, still to this day, I don't know how he knew I was there. I don't know if someone from Fanatics had told him
Hmm.
beforehand, like, "Hey, just letting you know, like, Bree's in the line." I don't know. So, what
Okay.
happened was what I was told by security was he had come out for his photo ops and everyone's cheering and having a good time. And he had asked security. He was like, "Hey, can I ask you a question?" And the guy's like, "Sure." He's like, "Can I start pulling people from the crowd to go first?" He's like, "Is that okay? Can I do that?" And the guy's like, "I mean, yeah, I guess." He's
Yeah.
like, "Yeah." He's like, "Sure." He's like, "Okay." All of a sudden, everyone starts cheering because he's coming closer. I'm on my phone, not really paying attention to my surroundings. And I overhear, because people had recognized me in line, I overhear someone go, "Bree, I think he's looking for you." And I was like, "No," I'm like, "He's probably looking for a little kid." I'm like, "No, I don't think he knows I'm here. Like, it's okay." All of a sudden, I look up from my phone because the chants are getting louder, and the crowd parts. And it's like he's right in the middle. And all of a sudden, the crowd goes crazy. They're like, "LA Night Girl, she's back there about 10 feet." And
She's
I
still
look
here.
up and I literally see LA go,
That's
and I was like,
incredible.
"Me?" Like,
So
literally.
so you had heard your name being chanted at this point, or you just looked up and he's right there and you're just completely, oh my God.
I looked up first because I think LA Night Girl got screamed by the crowd as soon as he pointed at me. And then the guy was like, "LA Night Girl." So he literally points at me. He's like, "Bree." He's like, "Let's go." He's like, "I'm letting you go first." And I had my stuff in my hand because I was getting his autograph too. So I gave it to my best friend behind me. And I was like, "Dude," I was like, "I don't want to go first." I'm like, I don't want to go first. Like, he still makes me so nervous. And he's like, "I'll let you go first." He's like, "I want you to come first."
That's great to hear about your almost evolving relationship with LA Knight. It feels like, there's a lot more left in the tank with what you guys could do. I know on a previous interview you talked about wanting to be a wrestler. Do you think maybe we could talk about that for a minute?
Yeah, I mean, I felt honored, Rumble Week when he allowed me to use the BFT as my finisher when I hit the ring soon. So I was like, okay, I was like, that was pretty cool. Now I have to train. But yeah, hopefully I get into that soon. I'm thinking more of like spring, summer. I'll probably hit the ring. Right now, I'm doing a lot of weight training and like working out, getting my body prepped because you can't just throw me in there now. I will have no idea what I'm doing. So I'm prepping now. So hopefully the spring and summer.
Very, very exciting. Very happy to see how the training progresses. My question just immediately goes down the road. And I'm thinking, okay, you're already in the WWE at this point. LA Knight is still there. We've got a mixed tag team opportunity. Who are you and LA Knight fighting in an ideal match?
Oh, that's a really good question, actually. I've never been asked this. In an ideal match, is this of all time or current roster?
Good question. Let's start with current roster, and then if you have another answer for all time, you can go in that direction. But start with current.
Current, Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch.
Oh, that's a good one.
They're two of my favorites
Mhm.
ever.
Okay.
That would be current. Of all time, Nikki Bella. I've always loved her. I would do Nikki Bella. Ooh, what about male? This is such The Rock.
Oh God, how is it not John Cena?
No,
Come
do The
on.
Rock. I love The Rock.
The Rock is great, but think about the heat that heel Cena and Nikki Bella would get. Oh, The romance angle could be back on. I
That's
don't
true.
know.
That's true. We could be heroes if we did face them, LA and I. We could be heroes.
But your answer is Nikki Bella, The Rock, all time, and then
Mhm.
Seth Rollins, Becky Lynch, currently. Okay,
Mhm.
respectable. In my mind, I kind of wanted you to go up against Liv and Dirty Dom, but that's okay.
Oh, that'd be so good.
It's just they're so hot right now,
I
right?
know, damn. But I
No,
love Liv. I wouldn't want to beat her up.
that's okay. Hey, future dream matches down the road. Speaking towards the possibility, though, of stepping in the ring, do you think that you would want to be your own character, or would you like to still be associated with LA Knight somehow, some way?
I would love to be my own character. However, I see the LA Night Girl following me into pro wrestling, whether it's a chant or it's a sign, because that's what I blew up as. Um, yeah, whatever they want to do. I'm to the point where it is just such a dream. I will literally wait outside of headquarters, like with their coffees every day, just to give me a tryout. Like I'm just like, I'll do anything.
One of my main goals is to one day start an independent wrestling show, have on a whole bunch of wrestling content creators and such. So we'll write you a little character sheet and we'll see if you like it. And then you could come try to perform it at It's Real to Us, first ever indie show.
Hell yeah, sounds good. Deal.
All right, you heard that. That's a verbal commitment. She's the first one. We got her. All right, I got a couple of other things that I think could be fun. One is a game, so we're very well known for our games. I think that's actually how you came across us.
Speak when you see a better wrestler than L.A. Knight.
I'll be talking quick.
This was after he had lost his United States Championship, so I was already in a bit of a crash out.
It was like right after.
It was right after. So I was scrolling on TikTok, and I love wrestling games. I love watching them. Like, that content is so entertaining to me. So I was like, okay, speak when you find a better wrestler than LA Knight. Not gonna happen. No one's gonna speak. This gentleman that you guys have on your crew.
I don't know if it was Dashing Diggity Dog or this is Tony the Father right here. It was one of them.
I
But
think it was Tony.
it was definitely Tony.
I think it was Tony.
Yeah, no, Nate loves LA Knight.
You guys didn't even get the name out fully. He was like, say a better one than LA Knight. And he goes, I'll be talking quick.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I directly cut the stitch like right there and was just like gazing into the camera. No words were needed. Like you could just feel my crash out.
But your video was so perfect because I knew it was so lighthearted and it was meant to be a joke, and it was just it was great. It was very well done.
Yeah, and I'm so glad you guys took it that way because I was like, it can go either way. I'm like, either they can think I'm the worst human being alive, or they can be like, you know what, that's kind of funny. That's you know what, we understand.
Yeah, we understand that everybody has their own opinions.
Mhm.
You know, some people like LA Knight, some people don't. But that's the beautiful thing about wrestling is we're all right. Nobody's wrong for feeling a certain way.
Mhm.
So, with that being said, let's play a game.
All right, let's do it.
So this is going to be a blind ranking game. I'm going to give you 5 LA Knight matches, and you have to rank them 1 to 5. 1 obviously is the one you think is the best. 5 is the worst, but you're not going to know which one comes next.
Okay.
You ready?
Yes. Oh, it's gonna be painful.
Oh
Okay.
yeah. Oh yeah. It's gonna. Yeah. I'm specifically trying to make this difficult too. So for the record, you are meant to struggle.
Let's do it.
All right. LA Knight versus Logan Paul at SummerSlam 2024 when LA Knight wins the United States title.
Am I timed on these? Because that was such a good match. I just hate Logan Paul.
Take your time. Take your time.
Because I automatically want to I'm gonna put that at number 1. Sorry. That's my number 1. That was such a historic match, and I was there for it. So you know what? That's my number 1.
My favorite part about that is like, are we timed? Can I have a bunch of time to think about this? Oh no, yeah, that's at 1. Like I didn't even get a word out, and you were like, no, that's 1.
That's 1.
And I think that's a fair spot to put it.
Mhm.
You look at accolades and highest honors. That's
Mhm.
probably 1. Mixing in the fact that you were there.
I was an emotion. I was crying so hard. I had no makeup on, and that was like the 3rd match of the night. And it was horrible. I was crying so much.
It was so well deserved too. It
It
felt
was.
like almost long overdue at that point.
Mhm.
So I respect that at your 1 spot, but let's see if you end up regretting it. Okay.
All right.
Number 2, LA Knight versus Roman Reigns in the main event of Crown Jewel 2023.
My boys, that's on my wall behind me.
Right there. It's right up there.
Oh, that match was really good. He had Roman in that match. He did. I'm gonna put that at a safe number 3.
Okay, keeping the 2 spot open in case something
Yeah.
good pops
Yeah.
up. You don't want to completely block yourself out. That's
Yeah.
fair. That's fair.
Top 3.
All right, where does LA Knight versus Bray Wyatt in a Mountain Dew pitch black match go? That was the Royal Rumble 2023.
So the concept of that match, I loved. However, I think if they had more time, it would be higher on my list. So I'm gonna put it at a 5.
Out of 5.
Yeah, it was just and like the ending spot got like messed up. It just I don't know. I feel like if they had more time and if there was more care into the match, I feel like it could have been art.
That's a good spot to go at 5. I do kind of enjoy the match, almost as like a cult
Yeah.
classic. Like it's so bad, it's good.
But like it was fun. That's the word I like
Yeah.
love using. Like it's okay to have fun. Like sure, it wasn't like the most perfect match, but like it was fun. Like the concept was fun.
Next, where are we going to put the Slim Jim Battle Royal from SummerSlam?
See, that was one of his first huge wins, but I feel like a battle royal, there's got to be a better one in there. I'm gonna put that at 4.
Yeah, that was the right
Yeah.
decision. Who's coming in last? It is John Cena and LA Knight versus the Bloodline.
Yeah, all right, that's good. I would probably switch 3 and 2, but this wasn't as bad as I thought it'd be. I'm pretty content with this.
So let's just go over the list again. So at 1, you had LA Knight, Logan Paul, where he wins the US title.
Mhm.
Number 2, you had the tag team, LA John Cena versus the Bloodline. 3 was Roman and LA Knight, your boys behind you. That's great that photo's in this shot for this game. That's a
love
happy accident. 4 was the Slim Jim Battle Royal, and 5 was the Mountain Dew pitch black match. I actually think you nailed it. I'm not going to lie.
Ew. Yeah,
think-
I'm happy with that.
I think that's a perfect list.
Mhm.
Okay, well, you're a natural at these games, so maybe we'll have to play some more sometimes. I think that we could finish with a couple of discussion, maybe debate questions about LA Knight, just a couple of them too.
Okay.
It'll be super diplomatic. It's all about respect because that's what wrestling is, and that's what we like to preach on It's Real to Us. Wrestling is subjective. Just because you may not have an opinion that I have or that Bree has doesn't mean that you're wrong. Everybody's entitled to feel the way they do because wrestling is an art form and everybody interprets art their own way. So with that being said, Bree, do you think LA Knight will ever be a world champion?
Yes.
Not yet.
Yeah. No, there's not a doubt in my mind.
What's his championship window look like?
I heard the draft was coming up soon after Mania season. So in a perfect Brie world, I would love for him to go to Raw. And if Gunther keeps his championship, I feel like that rivalry, I think he could beat him.
So you got a direct line right there. It's you're thinking like in 2 months' time, LA Knight is the world champion.
Yeah, I think he's still red hot. I think the crowd still loves him. Merch sales are probably great for him. I see him as champion real soon.
I will agree that he is insanely over still. He hasn't really cooled off. I could see him being a world champion, but, and you're probably going to hate me for this,
It's okay.
for a year now, a year plus. I have this argument going with Dashing Diggity Dog, who is a member of the show. He's a huge LA Knight fan. He loves LA Knight. And the argument that we've had is that LA Knight peaked at Crown Jewel in 2023. So do you think that up until this moment, that was his career highlight, main eventing a pay-per-view against Roman Reigns?
No, I would argue his career highlight would be when he won the United States Championship because like that stadium legit shook.
Because of the reaction? You don't
Yeah.
think the placement on the card, though, might impact that? So you're going from the main event. You're a 3 count away from being the face of the company.
My thing is, it doesn't. I guess fans would say like, okay, it matters where you're placed on the card. Me, however, I think you have to work with what you've got. Like there have been matches that have not been in the main event, that have not opened the show, that have been mid card, that have been historic. So I think you have to. It's how you have to work with what you've got.
That's absolutely fair. Just because you're placed maybe, let's say, second on the card doesn't mean you won't have the best match of the night. So we can agree to disagree. So in my mind, LA Knight, he has peaked at this point. I think that if he were to win a world championship or even be in the main event, again, with a world championship opportunity, that's him getting back to the top of the mountain, in my opinion. I think the United States Championship is good, and I think he had a solid run with the U.S. title, but, and I hate to say it, I think Logan Paul had a better run as champion.
Oh my god, this is so painful.
You want to see something even more painful? Logan is right over my shoulder. Right there.
Blind.
Dun, dun, dun.
I can't see. You really think Logan Paul had a better run?
From a notoriety point of view, I think that he took the championships to new levels. Although he maybe didn't defend the title as much, I know I was talking about the United States Championship a lot more when Logan Paul was champion as opposed to LA Knight.
All right. I'll let it slide.
Okay. All right.
I think that where we different is I'm more like Match, the company, like the superstar, where you're kind of like you're more into like the mainstream world a little bit, where you're like he had it here and here. So I feel like that's where we're different. Like I focus more on just WWE as a whole, where you're like branching out into like bigger stuff. So I see that.
You called me mainstream? That is so. Those are fighting words. Okay, let's go tick for tack. Who is better for the company, Logan Paul or LA Knight?
For the company, LA Knight.
No chance. No chance.
I'm so biased.
The gloves are off. Logan Paul not only is significantly younger than LA Knight, so he would be better for years to come, but with his popularity, the eyes he brings to the product continuously, he's a guy that you could build a company around. LA Knight's great. I just don't think you build your company around.
Logan Paul don't got an LA Knight girl.
He does not. So maybe if there's a match between Logan and LA Knight, again, maybe you're the difference maker. But if they end up fighting again, give me my boy Logan right there.
Trash.
He's got it all. He's the full package. Everybody hates him. He's got a good look, great move set. He's super young, super talented. He's going to be around forever. He wants to do this. He says it all the time. He's got the wealth. He's got the popularity. He doesn't need to do this. He wants to do it because of the love of the sport. How could you not root for a guy like that? He's a baby face, in my opinion.
I hate that man. That's crazy. They're going to come at you for this. Anyone that follows me that watches this you're over.
Again, wrestling is subjective. We're all entitled to opinion.
Go easy, guys.
But it is all love. Bree, thank you so much for joining the show. It was an absolute pleasure to have you. Hopefully we can have you on again someday.
Of course. Thank you for having me. This was so fun.
If you haven't, make sure you are following Bree on all of her social media platforms. Bree, you want to give a quick shout out where everybody can find you at?
Yeah, you can find me on TikTok a lot. My username is Briana, period, and then Duarte. And then on Instagram, it's Briana with an A in the middle, and then Duarte.
And then It's Real to Us. You can find us on X, Instagram, TikTok, and Twitch at It's Real to Us. On YouTube, we are at It's Real to Us 1. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Bree, you made a verbal commitment to be a part of our indie show. So we'll see you there.
Yes, I'll see you guys there.
Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you next time on It's Real to Us, the wrestling show.